Hearing the news just now put a big smile on her face, knowing she could finally realize her dream of becoming the President of the United States finally came true. A few days later, Charlotte started meeting with the head of the campaign team. At that meeting, the head of the campaign team told her that her single status would tarnish her image in the eyes of the public. She suggested she approach the Canadian Prime Minister, and for the sake of the success of her campaign, Charlotte agreed. On the other hand, when Fred had just arrived at his office and wanted to hand over the results of the recording of the Nazi gathering yesterday, his boss informed him that the company had been sold to a rival company. Upon hearing that, Fred was very disappointed, and after venting his anger, he decided to resign. After returning from there, Fred met his friend Lance. When Lance found out that his friend had just quit his job, to cheer him up, he invited Fred to come to his client's party tonight. At the party, while enjoying the atmosphere, Fred accidentally saw Charlotte, who also happened to be there. Fred hurriedly ran away and confided in Lance that Charlotte was his childhood friend and first love, but that was in the past. He was sure she must have forgotten about him. In the middle of the conversation, suddenly a bodyguard-looking guy approached them and said that Charlotte wanted to talk with Fred. When Fred met her, he was surprised. It turned out that Charlotte still recognized him. The two of them then chatted for a long time, remembering their memories. When they were having fun chatting, suddenly an old man came and teased Charlotte. After the old man left, Fred, who was offended, immediately confronted and told him never to treat Charlotte that way again, while saying that Charlotte was not a cheap woman. After he was satisfied, Fred left from there, but not before he made another scene by falling off the stairs. After that incident, Charlotte, who was curious about Fred, tried to find information about him and found out that Fred was a writer. After reading some amazing articles written by Fred, Charlotte was amazed and planned to recruit him to be her speechwriter. After the meeting, she met Fred and told him about the threat. At first, Fred tried to calm her down, but when he found out that she agreed to their requests and allowed the forest to be destroyed, he was disappointed. The two argued and blamed each other until finally, because they felt the relationship could no longer continue, the two of them broke up. After they broke up, Fred confided in Lance. He was disappointed with Charlotte because, as an official, she should have considered the disadvantages of destroying the forest. Just for the sake of her position, she was willing to let nature be damaged. Lance tried to calm him and said that political life is different from normal life, as things were not as simple as they looked. The most important thing was not right and wrong, but understanding. Fred couldn't say anything to that explanation and remained silent. At night, even though Charlotte and Fred had broken up, deep down